Hi everyone, it's Braylon and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I am a special education teacher. I teach kindergarten through 3rd grade, and right now I am teaching hybrid. So I'm in person, but I have students that are remote. I make a ton of videos on this channel, a lot of vlogs, a lot of special ed specific videos, and today we're kind of doing something a little bit different. In the past, I've made videos kind of DIYing things or showing you how I would make something for my classroom, but I kind of want to take it a step further today. I've talked about this a lot, like in the summer, but I truly believe that teachers spend far too much money on their classrooms, and I totally get it as someone who went to art school and cares a lot about the aesthetics of a classroom. I love when things look put together. I love a good laminated sheet of paper. I love Velcro, and sometimes it is necessary. But I think when it comes to teaching materials such as centers or small activities for writing and for math and for reading, spending $20, $30 on a product and then spending another $30 on laminating sheets and Velcro is just not something I ever really want to promote. There are things that I think are worth it, like Made For Me literacy and certain, big curriculum purchases, like don't get me wrong. But a lot of times the day-to-day teaching of math or of reading really just requires a pen, a paper, and a few small manipulatives. That's what we're going to be making today. And today we're going to be making some math centers. I've been really inspired by a lot of people, specifically chefs on YouTube, especially during the pandemic. There are a lot of people on YouTube showing you how to do things at home. And honestly, that is totally my vibe. You could have the most expensive product on TPT, laminated, Velcroed, cut out to perfection. But if you're not good at teaching the math concept, then it doesn't even matter. But if you focus on how that student best learns and how to explain it to them, you could be using scraps of paper to teach math. You could be using really free, cheap manipulatives and products that you can find in your kitchen, in your office, or wherever. I want to start off by saying that this probably is more of like addition, subtraction, like early ed. So if you're not in special ed, it's probably like kindergarten, 1st grade. If you are in special ed, it could all be up to high school. I mean, who knows? But I would definitely say this is geared towards early learning skills. That's the way I'm going to put it. Or basic math skills. I want to talk about storage. Yes, I know I'm from Boston, so I say that word weird. I want to talk about storage, and I want to say that you can do storage cheaply or you can do it more expensive. It depends on what you have left at your house or in your classroom. I want to show a couple of options. Because I'm a YouTuber and make products for TPT, I always have extra photo cases. Now, I want to say I don't think photo cases are necessary for you to go buy to make a center. If you have anything lying around, a Ziploc bag or a folder or just a paper bag. I mean, you can use anything to store your little like center things in. Like this. I worked with some air clay. So look, this is perfect. You can just use this. So jars and pasta jars. Maybe we'll make a whole video using pasta jars. Oh my gosh, yeah, why not? You can use anything. You can literally use anything. So I want to make that clear. What I'm going to show you, I'm going to be putting into different types of containers. You might see a lot of photo cases, but please don't think you need to go out and purchase photo cases. All right? Thank you. So the next thing is what materials we're going to use. Again, because this is like what I do, I like to craft. I always have craft materials lying around. I had a lot of these things at my house already, but I did want to look and see if it's possible to go purchase them from a Target or from a Walmart, or if you're in another country, just a basic like craft store for very little money. So some things that we're going to need, I'm trying to think of the math things I want to do. We're going to need like index cards. A lot of people already have those. A marker, duh. We're not laminating anything, so we don't need laminating sheets. Maybe stickers, little manipulatives, whether that's beads or small erasers, if you can buy those from Walmart or Target or the craft store. Or or you can use like pom-poms. Stickers, I probably already said that. What else? Oh, like pipe cleaners. So a lot of this stuff, we kind of already have these craft products, but I do want to say if you don't have them, then going out and buying just a bunch of craft materials might cost you about $20, but that's still pretty cheap because you can make so many things with all of that. All right, I have the bag. So I want to show you some of the things that I got. I spent $8. $8. Pretty good. I did not buy index cards because I already had them. But if I had bought them there, I would have probably only spent $10. And I already had envelopes. So if I had bought the envelopes there too, then I would have spent $11. You get what I'm saying. So we bought these little mabobbers. What are these called again? Pipe cleaners. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And we bought beads. We bought 2 kinds of stickers. And oh my gosh, a mess. 3 different kinds of erasers. Now it's almost like Valentine's Day. Sorry, I'm showing my second camera. It's almost Valentine's Day, so they're kind of like Valentine's themed, but like that's life. I want to also add, if you don't have index cards, you can just use regular pieces of paper. I want to show you that I got this like box cutter. That's not what it's called. It's not a box cutter. What is it? Paper cutter. Oh my gosh. A paper cutter. This is from Target from a long time ago. They're like $10, I think, but they're really helpful so that you can cut the paper if you don't have an index card. So it still works. The other things that I'm going to use are scissors and what is this? Pen and Sharpie. Right now I only have green Sharpies, so that's what we're doing. The last material piece that we might need is we might need sheet protectors, because there's always an option if you want. You could just keep everything in a sheet protector, keep it in a binder, a straight extra binder. We always have those lying around. But I know that sheet protectors are probably like $3 for a pack of 20. So again, you don't have to buy those, but those are just an option as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a few of these. These are for number bonds and they're pretty simple. My student is pretty good with number bonds, and so they just kind of need it to be solidified for them. So I'm literally going to draw like horribly this. And if you're more of a perfectionist, then yeah, trace something. But I'm just going to be doing like this. Number bonds. There you go. I might even write at the top. Number bonds. And if you don't know what these are, basically it's like these 2 numbers equal this number, or how they all relate. And then I'm simply going to put it in a sheet protector. When we have our group, she'll be able to use her dry erase or expo markers and go for it. If I want to add something else, then I might give her one of these, and I might give her sets of numbers. Or she can use a dice and roll the dice to fill in these 2 numbers to solve for this one, or fill in this number and solve for this one. So depending on the level that they're at, I will give them what they need. All right, the second one we're going to do is also very simple, although I kind of need a ruler or something like this just to make sure I'm kind of getting more of like an even line. Okay, so for this, we're going to first read it, build it, and write it. Easy. I'll give them a list of numbers. They'll go one at a time. They'll put the number here, blocks or other manipulatives, and then they'll write it out with words. Okay, sheet protector and some markers. So for counting, I'm going to be using some blue cards. I could even cut these in half if I really wanted to. I'm just going to be writing simple numbers. So for this one, I'll do a 5. Then maybe I do a 3. How about a 7 and a 4? You get the idea. I'll show it to you with one of these boxes, but I'm going to put all of them in here. And then I'm going to put in some erasers. So just dump all the erasers in and close her up. So whenever I need to do this, I'll hand this to the student, they'll open it up, and we'll have already practiced. Again, this is an independent skill, so then they know to pull out 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to show a few more that have to do with addition. So I will show you like this. For addition, there are 2 ways that I do it. I'll either start like this, 2 plus 2. And then with my erasers, they'll be able to show me 2 and 2, which is great. So that works really well. The other option is stickers. So this is more of like a touch math type of a deal. So I'll open up my stickers and I'll take one out. Then I'll actually add the 2 touch point too. So they'll either be able to do it like this, or they'll do it like this. They can probably honestly still use the manipulatives if they wanted to, or they could mark the number down on here, or they could mark their answers on a separate piece of paper. And they can mark their answers here. For subtraction, I kind of want to do it the same way. I kind of want to do, say for example, 6 minus 2. I actually might give them 6 spots. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I can give them a bunch of these. Then I can have shown them to put out 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to take away 2 and then count. I found these fun stickers. I don't know, I just really liked them, but I thought that for some of my students, they would really benefit from having something that was a little bit more tactile. So I don't know if you can tell, but they're like bumpy. So putting a different amount of stickers on each one and having them count, or, you know, subitize, or whatever you want them to do, is super helpful. So how many? And they kind of have to go through, and that's kind of nice because they'll be able to feel and decide. You could even make one where say there were 1, 2, 3, and then you could give them choices. So if I make 3 circles, was there 1, 2, or 3? Then with a block or an eraser or whatever, they'll be able to cover it up. Or you could treat it like this, and then they'll be able to count out loud. 1, 2, 3. Whichever way you want to teach them to practice. I have a few students who are working on patterns. So let me see. If I do a pattern of green, pink, blue, then with beads or whatever other kind of manipulative, cannot get the beads open, then you can have them use it. Green, pink, blue, or actually blue, and have that work for them. Now I'm going to cut a hole with this punch. If you don't have a punch, you can use a piece of paper, you can use a scissor, or whatever you want. Just cut it really quick. We'll do 3. Why not? Now, on each, we can do a few things. For 1, you could put the number 3. Then you can attach, I'm going to cut this in half. Then you can attach your little baby thing through here. A couple beads. You can have them string 1, 2, 3. Or you could already have it on here and have them count 1, 2, 3. So I like to give this to them a lot. The other option is to give them an addition problem. And then a lot of times I'll attach those like so. So again, 1 plus 2, I can give 1, 2, and 3. Boom. The last one is to give something like this. 5 minus 2. So we'll attach the whole thing to it like so. And I'm going to put 5 beads on. You could actually make them all the same color if you really wanted to. So you could have 5, then you could take away 2, and then talk about 1, 2, 3. All right, everyone, that was a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm actually going to use these. So I did less for the video, but I'm about to go back through and make like about 15 or 20 index cards per activity. And yeah, I would strongly suggest, it doesn't even matter if they're homemade or if you bought them, laminated them, or if you bought them from Lakeshore, you have to make sure you teach and train your students in how to use centers or how to use task boxes. I've talked about this so many times on this channel, but it takes intentional teaching. So at the beginning of the year, or when you come back from a break, going back through the rules, actually being there and practicing it with your students. If you need visuals as reminders, use simple clip art of like, first you take the box, then you open it up, then you do the activity, then you move it to the finished box. I know that a lot of people use certain colors. For me, I do as well. So the first one they need to do is in one color, and then the next is in a different color. And that also helps them kind of go through the motions. If you've not ever attempted any type of independent work in your classroom, I strongly suggest it. When I finally was courageous enough to do it after like my first year and a half of teaching. And I finally was like, you know what? We need this time. We need like a good 30 minutes of independent work where they're just being able to do something on their own. It changed my classroom forever. It revolutionized it. And then I made them accessible so that when we were teaching things and students were done early, they had access to the things that they needed. Like, it changed the game for me and it made my classroom run so much smoother. So if I have more resources, there are plenty of blog posts and videos that are here, not necessarily made by me. I'm going to link them down below so that you guys can start getting familiar with centers or with boxes or whatever you want to use. But this was so much fun, and I'm definitely going to be doing this again with more things. So leave comments down below of if you use any of these things, or if you've even attempted to remake them for cheaper for yourself. And also you can leave a comment if there are different, I don't know, subjects or types of things you want me to make in the future, because my classroom is always changing, evolving. The skills, they learn a new skill, they need a new activity. And so as special ed teachers, we just have to constantly be creating and thinking about the next thing. So that just means an endless amount of ideas and an endless amount of time. So let me know down below what are the other things you'd like for me to make. You guys are amazing. This channel is so much fun. I'm so grateful for it. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.